Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to the Envision Greatness podcasts. I'm Brittany Clausen and I'm your host. I'm going to be talking to you all today about scarcity mindset versus the abundance mindset. The reason why is because we as a society, as a whole, we move more in a scarcity mindset focusing on the little things, the little issues, and analyzing them to the T to where we shrink, we get smaller, we get worried, we get nervous, we get scared, and we stop believing in ourselves and what our capabilities are, both individually and as a collective. So the reason that's important because if you've known me for a while, you know that I also am coined the goal getter coach. And we talk about goals, and goals are really attractive to talk about. Wanting to accomplish a goal, in the middle of accomplishing a goal, it makes us feel ambitious, motivated, inspired. However, there's a lot of things that come in between that we don't talk about. We don't talk about how hard it is to actually accomplish a goal because sweat equity is not just a sexy term, it's a real thing that requires patience and understanding. And oftentimes, the route that you picked for yourself is not the same route that ends up being after you did everything you could, right? So, I think when you think about goals, it sounds really good. It sounds good, but the reality is we are learning so much about ourselves in that process, and so we have to be super careful that we aren't normalizing the fear. Um, and when I say that, what I mean is that we're not giving into the fear and letting that be a part of our journey. It's supposed to be an acknowledgement of what we are afraid of. That's that scarcity mindset. But then we are supposed to go within and to think differently about it through our healing process and our confidence. And confidence can stem from your faith. It can also stem from what you know about yourself for all the things that you've been through in your life. This can be a stepping stone that ignites the fire within. So, we're going to talk about that because that is super important when we're talking about goals, relationships, work, obviously, anything related to being, anything related to being human, because we need to get into that. So, this is also I have notes. So if you see me looking down, if you're listening to me, is these have some psychological and emotional implications, right? But okay, just to clear it up, just so we are on the same definition. Scarcity mindset is a belief that resources, opportunities, and success are limited, leading to feelings of competition and fear of missing out. Who can relate? I can. I can relate because at any given moment, you see somebody, especially with social media, you see people online and you go, boy, I want that. And if you don't say it out loud, you're thinking it in there. And it's like, for most of us, we look at it and we're inspired. But after a while, that inspiration becomes contorted to comparison and jealousy. And once we start to build relationships with people that we aspire to be like, that protrudes even more and it becomes real messy. It becomes real messy. And so we have to get out of that. We have to get out of that because it doesn't do any good for us and our health. And it doesn't benefit that relationship and it doesn't benefit our goals. So, some of the psychological implications, the characteristics, I should say, is that you're focusing on a lack. First of all, that's already when we put it out there like that, we're already saying we don't have enough. Okay, so there's no gratitude in what we do have and what we're aspiring to achieve within our own strengths and our abilities. It's focusing on a lack. It's focusing on not enough time, money, or opportunities. So why did that person get that promotion and I didn't? I've been here for, 6 years and I didn't get that. Okay, there are some things that there's more than a few truths to any given circumstance, right? But if we're focusing in on the scarcity mindset, then it's really comparing yourself to other people and it's really judging them. And yes, you can say that, oh, Brittany, I don't judge, but we do. We do. I do. And it's not because I want to, it's because it's our innate brain wiring to be able to look around because we're so fixated on what we don't have. We don't know that we're all connected. We're all connected. When you pop out your mother's womb, you're connected to other people based on survival. You need other people to help you so that you can grow and adapt and eventually take care of yourself. But once we get to that place where we're taking care of ourselves, we isolate ourselves, we compare ourselves to others, and we ultimately live in this like pool of pain because there are things that we as human beings do to each other that are extremely uh problematic. And, there we can go into depth about that, but you understand that we're broken people all together. I'm broken, you're broken, we're all broken. That doesn't mean, though, that we need to live there. We have to strive towards an abundance mindset. And that will help us see that we can still help each other even in our brokenness and lifting each other up. So, another aspect of scarcity mindset that you could take on when you don't even know it is anxiety. You can have a lot of worry about where things are going to come from. Where's my next meal coming from? Where is the next job? I really hate the job that I'm in. I'm not getting any interviews, right? Or I don't have any friends and I'm feeling really, disconnected and not connecting with anybody who understands me. That anxiety, it festers into real health implications, right? Anxiety over time, if not dealt with, can lead to chronic stress. It can lead to major depression. And those are actual psychological terms and conditions that become your daily life. So by acknowledging it, it's one to be able to look at it without judgment, right? I'm saying this out loud because you need to hear that you're not alone, but also that you don't need to judge yourself for this. What we do when we acknowledge something is we learn from it. So that's the accountability piece. The reflection aspect is learning from the things that you have gone through, the things that you're currently dealing with, so that you can release it and apply what the lesson learned in that is. Okay. So when you're doing that, when you're carrying a scarcity mindset, other examples is that you think that other people are more successful than you. And you may never say this out loud. You may never say this out loud, but you're thinking it. Subconsciously, you're thinking it. And you're comparing yourself because you don't see what all the power is within you, or people around you are breaking you down because sometimes other people's scarcity mindset over your life can get to you, right? Especially if you have a lot of empathy and you care about people or identify as a people pleaser. I say that because I've had that experience. So when you are thinking about doing something, sometimes it's even best not to say anything because you don't need other people's impressions on what you're doing to stifle you from not doing it at all or doing it in a way that pleases them and satisfies them when they're not even doing it at all. Um, Also, when we think about a scarcity mindset, we can get into the attachment styles around relationships because sometimes an anxious attachment or a um there's anxious attachment, there is also avoidant attachment. And those two don't really want to deal with the issues that they have internally when it comes to how they experience healthy relationships. And so you may feel that love is limited, that people can only love you so much. Well, actually, some part of that is you. You haven't loved yourself enough. And that's hard to hear. I do have an episode on that. I really encourage you to listen to it if you haven't. It's been so long that I probably need to listen to it too. But this is just to say that when we're looking for love elsewhere and we're not finding the love within, we're struggling. We're struggling and we're not tapping in to all the love that we could give ourselves because maybe we're dishing it out to other people. Maybe we are offering it up in exchange for something else, right? And this is where if you do the work, if you really dig within, that's what the work means. Dig within, go within, learn, reflect, and have some hard conversations with yourself. It might be like the mature version of you is talking to the inner kid within you. And it's just asking yourself, what happened? Where did this start? Because if you figure out where it started, you can figure out what the tunnel or the domino effect was. So whenever you think of a situation that has happened in your life, think about where it came from, where it started. If it's not in your childhood, which there's a lot that goes within your childhood, where our minds are so impressionable as a kid that we are watching and analyzing everything because it's our first like rite of passage into being a human. But if you can figure out where the root was, then you can understand it and have some empathy for yourself because there's another thing about this that we judge other people because we judge ourselves so harshly. I myself judge myself harshly and I have to learn, well, wait a second. I don't I didn't know what I know now. I didn't know that. And if I would have known that then, I probably could have made a different choice. But the fact that this happened, it happened for me. And because I learned the lesson, it blessed me. So I extend that to you to think about certain circumstances that you've gone through where you coulda, shoulda, woulda, and you've shamed yourself for it. You've given in to that insecurity or that doubt, and that's fostered into the scarcity mindset. I encourage you to learn from that circumstance. Journal about it. I talk about this all the time, but journaling really helps because it spits it out. It's almost like a mental vomit. If you just saw what was in the mess, you can figure out, oh, that was the thing that broke me, that made me sick. Because if you're, I don't want to get into all the nastiness about food, but usually when you're sick, if you throw up, you can see what was hurting you, what affected you, what almost gave you chronic illness. But because you threw it up, you have a relief. So that's just an analogy. But if that helps you to understand that sometimes you need to let go and give up what it is that you are struggling with the most. And take accountability, because that's another thing is take accountability from it. Acknowledge what it was and how you could have made a different choice, but no, ultimately knowing that that's what you knew at that time and forgive yourself. Okay. You have to forgive yourself because if you cannot forgive yourself, you will walk around with this scarcity mindset towards everything. You have to forgive yourself so you can forgive other people. And that is hard. I will tell you, like forgiving all the time, it's trash, to be honest. People, human beings are trash. We stink. We're bad. And at the same time, we're beautiful and we're worth each other. We're worth working together to solve something. We cannot do this alone. So you got to start with yourself and then you can help other people and then you can ignite the light because by forgiving yourself, you're growing into the abundance mindset. We'll get into that, but I just wanted to say that. Okay. Even money, okay? Just a little thing. If you're worried constantly about money, then you're attracting more negative situations to come to you. So be careful with that because, yes, you can be concerned, but then turn that off and think about how to be creative about making money. Money is a tool to be used for how we acquire other items, products, services, goods, whatever the case may be. And you just have to know that that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Okay? Is you have to think with an abundance mindset and more money will come to you. It's the law of attraction. So by doing it the opposite way of being worried and scared and nervous, you will miss some blessings just by you not pivoting. So switching into the abundance mindset, just so we're on the same page of what that is, it's a belief that resources, opportunities, and success are plentiful and they're available to everyone. That means if you start a business today, you're not oversaturating the market because there is a customer for everybody. Okay, everybody, which means if you put something out in the world, it is meant to be there, whether it's a business idea, whether it's a relationship, it's the way that you treat other people, excuse me. This is meant to happen. That's your calling. That's your mission. That's part of your purpose. Okay. So when it comes to you and it sits heavy on your chest and you're ignoring it, turn the scarcity mindset and embrace it. It might be the most ridiculous idea you've ever thought of, but yet go with that. Go with it because you don't know what it is and how it's going to bless you and other people around you. This abundance mindset on the psychological characteristics aspect, because I have to get into that mental health side. It focuses on growth, possibility, and opportunity. Growth, possibility, and opportunity. All I hear is motivation, ambition, being opportunistic, being hopeful. Those are all attributes that spread light and love. And that through that is where we bear our fruit. So when you think about how to get to that next stage, having an abundance mindset invites you to be able to consider that there are other things out here that want to be welcoming you. It may be a new job that welcomes you. It may be a new relationship that welcomes you, a new friendship, new ways where you can feel light, where you can eat healthier, where you can play and have fun. Now, not every day is a perfect day, but when you start to rewire your brain, it'll become a little bit quicker for you to see where you may have a scarcity mindset and how to shift it. It may be an overnight process. And I say overnight because if you get real good at it, you could just go to bed. You could have a bad day. You could wake up with a good mindset because it is all a choice. I'm giving you an invitation because it is all a choice. It's not like we're over here just getting some special potion to be able to have an abundance mindset. It's in your mind. It's in your mind. All right. So also, other examples when you're on the job, it could look like more collaboration with other people, and just having a shared success, shared understanding of what that success could look like together, mutual accountability with everybody. Relationship, you could see love and connection as infinite. So every relationship could be an experience, whether it went right or not, right or wrong, whatever the case may be. It could be that you're appreciating the experience because you have love within you. And if you have or associate yourself with anxious attachment or avoidant, which I can get into another episode, you know that part of getting to the stable mindset and even a stable relationship is by seeing the love within yourself. It's a balance. It's a balance. It's a balance. Okay. Um, so scarcity mindset has an increased stress and anxiety. Abundance mindset has an enhanced well-being and a level of resilience, meaning you have gone through hard times and you can make it through. You can see how you are moving through this and you're okay with holding on because you're patient, you're understanding, and you know something good is going to happen to you. When you have a scarcity mindset, you're limiting your behaviors. You're hoarding the resources. You're getting real scared. You're stocking up on the food. You're stocking up on everything. You are not willing to take any risks, not willing at all. Your only risk is really waking up and moving about your day because you know you have to do the minimum. Go to work, come home, feed the kids and whatever else duties that are required about your day, but there's no creative thinking. There's no starting your YouTube podcast, there's no There's no meeting new friends. There's definitely not meeting new friends online. You are really analytical and concerned about who could hurt you and what it would be like. So you just say no new friends. And an abundance mindset increases your creativity, resourcefulness, and collaboration. This is someone who says, yeah, yeah, they could do something to me. Yeah. I mean, we're all flawed, but what's the risk if I don't see how we could all benefit from this goal that we want to achieve, right? I mean, it's willing to bet on yourself, not other people. You bet on yourself, your intuition, your gut instinct to help drive your abundance mindset so that more blessings can come to you. You're really open to taking risks, and that becomes a part of how you see your personal and professional relationships. You want to be surrounded with people who are willing to bet on themselves, who are willing to say, yeah, okay, let's invest in that goal that you have, because what's the risk? And granted, there's a due diligence aspect that abundance mindset people have. They're not all willy-nilly. It's not like clouds and cupcakes. It's really just about being open-minded and willing to entertain things that you think are going to contribute to the lifestyle that you want. These abundance mindset folks have healthier, more supportive relationships. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind. This is where you're inviting support because you're noticing the boundaries. You're giving in to what you need, and it's reciprocal because you have balanced relationships with other people who have boundaries. So it's the law of attraction again. When you have an abundance mindset, you're inviting other people in your life who are willing to also think in alignment with you. When you have a scarcity mindset, that's the opposite. You have a damaging impact on relationships and professional growth. Everything is a grumpy day. I mean, seriously. And when you see somebody getting promoted or a new person coming in and you wanted that job, you'd be like, oh, I got to leave this place. But then the same situation keeps recurring wherever you go, personally and professionally, because you haven't learned from this. It just keep recycling itself until you get it. And getting it means learning the lesson that it has for you. And 9 times out of 10, it has something to do with loving yourself. It really does. I mean, the love that we have to have for ourselves is so strong. And it's hard to do that when there's so many distractions. There's so much manipulation going on with the marketing in social media, the way people portray themselves. And that may be them just portraying themselves this way. It may not be vindictive, but we interpret it as, oh, who do they think they are? And we compare them to us. So we have to stop that. We can appreciate what we see online. We can appreciate what we see on the TV. We can appreciate what we see in the world. Appreciate is the key word, but you do not need to compare yourself to that. So, what can you do to shift from a scarcity to an abundant mindset? There's one, I said it already, you have to become aware of what your thoughts are. When you recognize scarcity thinking, you can notice when you focus on fear, lack, or competition. Fear, lack, or competition. Okay. Challenge them, challenge those thoughts, replace them with possibilities and opportunities. If you can't do that in your mind, get out a piece of paper and write down, here's my negative thoughts. Here's where I'm fearful. Here's where I feel like I'm lacking. Here's where I'm thinking I need to compete. These areas. And then it's called a reframe. How do I reframe this using an abundance mindset? So that's how you challenge a negative thought. Gratitude, gratitude. We talk about it because it sounds cute, but it's really about embracing what we are grateful for, writing down what you're grateful for each day. Start there. Start there. And that's where you can focus on reframing these negative thoughts too, because you can focus on lessons learned rather than the setbacks. So if you're focusing on what you're grateful for, you can look at situations you've been through and see the gratitude and why you had to go through that, why you had to embrace that. So I encourage you, if you haven't done that ever before, look at some of your situations and go, yeah, but that helped shape me into who I am today. If I hadn't gone through that, I probably wouldn't have this situation that's happening to me right now. That's big. That's big. And that's what helps the abundance mindset. Also, your mindset shift. We need to do more collaboration than comparison. Do not just go and ask somebody, "Hey, can I work with you because I like what you have going on?" What do you offer? What can you bring to the table? That's what we're focused on. So seek out collaboration, seek out partnerships, seek out people where you can support rather than competing, both, and understand you have skills and strengths to add. Know that, trust yourself. Do not think that you need to go to school one more dang on time to get that extra certification to feel the way you need to feel about yourself right now. Embrace that person who you are, okay? Embrace that person and focus on growth. See life as an ongoing journey of improvement. Life lessons. It sounds cute, but it is real. So when you see life as an ongoing journey of improvement, you can truly work on growth, evolution, becoming a new you. And the new you can happen in a matter of seconds. It's just what you believe. It's just what you believe. Okay. So just know that if you focus on what you believe and not on what other people think, you'll be in a better place because also people shift their mind when they see that confidence. Well, while you embrace the things that happened in your past and people want to pin you down for it, that's them having a scarcity mindset. That's not you. That's them. So other piece is, and this is a big one, is celebrate other people's success like thoughtfully, like practice congratulating and celebrating other people without any envy. Focus in on why you're happy for them and how, knowing that if you're in the same circle or even in the same vicinity, 9 times out of 10, they say when you're associated in a circle, it says a lot about you. Well, if they're receiving success, I want that to say a lot about me too. I want to have that success too, right? So celebrate their success because yours is on the way. Visualize, picture your future success in abundance rather than scarcity. So, go back to the drawing board, vision board, and dream up your life and embrace what you have now, but know that you're stepping into that. Okay. And then create daily affirmations that reinforce this abundance mindset. This is super important. This is super, super important because we can't always think it on the in the moment when we're learning something new. So put down some post-it notes, put it notes on your phone, put a calendar invitation just to say, here's what my thought is for the day. Because the more times you see it, the more rewiring it does in your brain to where you can actually believe in your abundance mindset. And then surround yourself again with abundance thinkers. So build a network of people who have a growth and abundance mindset. Limit also your media consumption. Just limiting that will also help promote positivity, growth, and abundance. Like only subscribe to things that are going to infuse the abundance mindset. Because when we're focusing on the comparison of what so and so is doing and this and that and this and that, all the negativity, it fosters more and more of that scarcity mindset. So, all right, I talked a lot, I shared a lot, but if you're really watching and listening, I am encouraging you to take these steps, at least one, at least one. Pick a step today, write it down, and do it today. And then listen to this again tomorrow and do this again tomorrow. Keep getting it in your head until this becomes your way of life. And if you have any questions, comments, you can go to this YouTube podcast or YouTube episode and just make a comment. I can respond there. But I really appreciate you all for listening. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you. And I hope that this helps. If you have more questions about the mindset shift, abundance thinking, scarcity mindset, you let me know. I'm happy to expand on anything that I talked about today in more detail if you'd like. But I hope that you have a great day, a blessed day, and remember who you are at your core. Remember who you are. All right, take care.